In a world where relationships are constantly evolving, the term situationship has become the poster child for modern dating. It blurs the lines between friendship and romance without clear definitions. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to That's Not How We Do It Here. I'm Tara.
And I am Kiara. Today, we'll explore what exactly a situationship is, how it stands apart from traditional relationships, and its effect on our mental health. Join us as we unpack the complexities of situationships and what they mean for the future of dating.
So, according to you, Kiara, I want to know what is the definition of situationships.
Okay, first of all, it's very complex. So I would say a complex relationship that you're having with a person without any commitment and without any assurity. Something that is very unsure is what I would say in a very normal way of putting it. What about you?
When two people come together but they don't have any sort of commitments or they don't want to put any particular label to their relationship or whatever they are in, and they're very scared to take anything seriously, and they want to be a lot in their own freedom, with their own freedom and things like that. That's what I feel a situationship is, according to me.
Okay, Tara, you are absolutely right about what you said about situationships. But I want to know, I'm very curious, what do you think and why do you think that it's happening more? Like people are more in situationships rather than, completely committed in a relationship. Why do you think it's happening?
According to me, now the way that we are seeing how the new generation is going on, they have a lot of different norms and a lot of terms that are very unrealistic according to us. And it's there's a fear of commitment. They may be having some trust issues or things that they feel where they cannot completely be with one particular person, and they want to explore more. Things like that are in, like, trend now, and I feel because of such things people want to stay in situationships rather than fully commit, or rather than be in a relationship with someone and be have or have a meaningful relationship with someone. They opt to have a situationship where they know that there's no boundaries, there's no nobody like on your head, or there's no label where you have to go back to the same person. It's easier to exit if something goes wrong rather than staying and sticking together and trying to find a solution. There are these are certain things where we figure out that people have trust issues or commitment issues, due to which I feel situationships are emerging more than relationships. How about you?
Right. What you said was absolutely true when it comes to trust, because I feel that the most what I've observed is that most people who come into situationship are the people who've had a very terrible breakup, or somebody who've had a good relationship in the past, and that relationship they gave in so much in that relationship because they did not know how to navigate through that relationship. And when they ended up giving a lot, or that person broke up, or maybe that person left, then this person was left with nothing. So when they come out, when they're trying to heal, or maybe when they healed out of that strong relationship, they want something very practical. And what I've also observed is that people who are into situationship and looking for situationship, they definitely want emotional connection, but they are so scared of emotional uh, attachment with anyone that they are like, no, no, it's better if it's better to have somebody who's very practical, maybe something you can have some physical intimacy, or maybe you can just ask every day, how was your day, how was your not, just to talk, okay, every day, but with no responsibilities. Because when you're in a committed relationship, there is a responsibility, and now people are not ready for that responsibility. So I think that the reason why this is happening a lot, apart from what Gen Z people are, like Gen Zs have a very different way of looking at life. It's very far for them to get married, so they are doing all these things. But when it comes to people who are at the marriageable age, or maybe people who are married also, are after getting married also, they might be in situationship with somebody, maybe at office or maybe somewhere at the workplace or anywhere. Okay, so what I feel is that people who want to get emotionally attached to people but are very scared and have trust issues, as you rightly said, and people who just want to have fun. They want to have fun without responsibilities. That is what is situationship, and that is why it is leading to more situationships rather than a committed relationship.
Yeah, 100%. It's like they want all of it. Like, I'm sure even in situationships, they are talking about their emotional things also, somewhere or the other, maybe not in a deeper way like how mature relationships are, but they, I think they some or the other way have some certain conversations where they are opening up, opening a little bit about themselves, or are maybe getting a little bit more invested emotionally. But there's also this intimate part where they are, they want that intimacy, that's all. So it's like there are in situationships also, I think there are different types of situationships in which one person or a pair is only wanting physical intimacy, or another pair is only wanting, that personal touch, in where they can just rant about everything with each other. But I want to know from you that even when you're in a situationship, sometimes there is a feeling like you don't want the other person who's in the situationship with you to talk to anybody else, to meet anybody else other than you. So if they are in a situationship, why is there a bondage that they feel inside them that the other person should not go and talk to anybody else?
So what I feel is that even in situationship, people approach somebody else because they have liking towards them. So it is not like before it used to be, or in traditional relationships, it is like you like somebody, you approach that person, you tell your feelings, then there's a talking phase, dating phase, relationship phase, commitment, like that. But now it is like you approach this to this person, but then you are scared, you have trust issues, you have 10 more other issues. And then you are like, okay, but I don't want this person to talk to somebody else, but then you are not ready to commit also. And in that way, you like this person, and whenever that person goes and talks to somebody else, you might have jealousy, you might have a feeling of shit, I might lose this person because you like this person. Okay, and there is a lack of acceptance. When there is lack of acceptance, then you kind of are nowhere, you are lost because you think that, okay, forget it, it's okay, it's a big deal. I think it is that thing. It's very complex. That's what I said at the beginning. It's a very complex thing.
Yeah.
So, Tara, I feel that a lot of people confuse friendship, best friend, friendship, to situationship. So, what are your opinions on how different a friendship and a best friend situation is different from the situationship thing?
See, what I feel is, according to the friendship and the situationship thing, when you have a friendship, you have a lot of expectations from your friends also. You have an expectation related to commitment. Like, when you need your friend, that person will be there for you. If you don't like a certain thing, your friend will respect that and not do it, so that it doesn't bother you. Or there's a sense of understanding where there's a lot of respect, there's a lot of maturity when it comes to a friendship. But on the other hand, when I feel about situationships, you don't have any sort of commitment from that person. For example, you need that person in the middle of the night, but you don't have the authority to call that person and ask that person that, will you be there for me at this point, because you guys are not emotionally invested into each other. When there's a friendship, both of the friends are emotionally invested in each other, they love each other, and it's a commitment, it's a label that this is a friendship, we are best friends. There's already a tag given to this relation. But when it comes to a situationship, nobody's ready to give a tag, nobody's ready to commit, nobody's ready to emotionally invest in each other. So you cannot expect anything out of a situationship or the person you're within. And that is one of the major differences also when it comes to the intimacy part. the physical intimacy part, either you're friends with benefits where you can do all sort of stuff with each other whatever you want, but you also a friendship and you don't want to commit. So there also there's a tag that okay, you guys are friends. But in situationship, it's just maybe physical intimacy and there's no tag. You might be just like, I don't even want to call you my friend. You are just in a situationship with me and we are doing this because that is our need, and that's about it, nothing else. So I think the major thing that I feel is, in a friendship you are emotionally invested in each other, you have a certain amount of respect and love for each other. But in situationships you are not emotionally invested at all and there's no sort of commitment. What about you? What is your opinion on this?
I agree to you completely. I mean, whatever you've said is so, so right. And I also feel that people who opt, or who people who know that this is a situationship, okay, they know that this is leading towards a situationship. I feel they're very irresponsible people. Only a responsible person will be very sure of what kind of a relationship you are in. Are you in a friendship with this person? Are you, is this person my best friend? Okay, if this person is my best friend, what kind of best friend is he? Is he the flirting wala best friend, or without flirting wala best friend? Because there are friends who like to flirt with each other also, but they are very clear they'll be there for each other no matter what. And there are friends who might not flirt with each other, who just talk very intellectual things and all, and will still be there for each other. So if you are in a situationship, how responsible are you if you are getting into any kind of relationship in your life, best friend situationship? Are you clear about it? Because in situationship kind of people are not clear. They are very clear of what, okay, they want physical intimacy, they want emotional attachment for a while, okay, they just want to vent out for some time. But what about the other aspects of life? Because this becomes a very unhealthy, toxic attachment type situation, where you're craving that person's attention, love, and presence, but you can't ask for it because you don't have any right on that person, right? As you said. So
Yeah.
I feel that people should be very responsible and should be very clear at the beginning when they're talking to someone. Okay, is this a friendship, or are we going, or are we leading towards a, like we are going to be best friends, or we are best friends, what? And in that way, even if it's a situationship, you need to understand that no, if it's a situationship, if one person, because what happens in situationship is that one person falls in love, the other person does not, because they are like, अरे मैंने तो सोचा ही नहीं था, you know all of those things.
Hmm.
So I feel, of course, there's a difference between friendship and relationship and situationship, but situationship is not reliable while friendships are reliable, as you said.
Right. Also, when you think about this, I feel personally, I don't know about what others think. I don't know what about what our listeners might feel, but I feel that this is majorly a very westernized term that has eventually evolved in India as well. And the worst part is, imagine you are in a situationship and you don't even know that this is a situationship. From your side you are invested in it emotionally and you have a certain amount of attachment to that person, but imagine the person you're with thinks that this is a situationship, and once you start showing even teeny tiny bit of emotions to that person, he or she will be like, I'm sorry, excuse me, this is a situationship, don't expect anything out of me. Imagine what that person will feel when he or she will come to know that I am emotionally being available for this person, I'm mentally physically there for this person, and apparently unknowingly I am in a situationship. So there are a lot of relationships or a lot of people, because first of all I feel that situationship is arising because they don't want to commit, right? So when they don't want to commit, they don't even want to let the other person know that this is a situationship, because they are even scared of saying that out loud.
Right. I mean, I have observed this, that when you are unaware of the fact that you're in a situationship, and when you would start developing feelings towards someone, and both of you all started very casually talking to each other or something like that, and now one person has developed so much of feelings that that person wants to pour love, okay, and wants to be there for you 100% and wants to see you improve and everything, okay, and the other person is like, wait, I've been talking to 10 other people more. Okay, it is not something new for me, come on, you get over it. And there's gaslighting that happens in that place, because either one of the person is talking to only one person and the other person is talking to another like 5 6 more people. So the person who's talking to 5 6 more people, it's very easy for them to get out
Yeah.
of the situationship. But that person who's only talking to this person, they are seeing a potential in this relationship because the way you vibe, the way you match, everything is like going on point. But as I mentioned in the previously, that you have to be very clear, you have to be very honest. And I think today, even in dating culture, not just situationships, when you're approaching somebody, it is so important to be clear, because when you're not clear of what you're looking for, like for example, if you're dating to marry, be very clear to that person that I want to date to marry. If the dating phase does not work out, great, but my agenda is to get married only. I don't do casual datings, I don't do situationships, I don't do friends with benefits. So if the person in front of you is approaching you to with any other agenda, knows that okay, this person is not ready for it, and you can say that okay, I am somebody who gets emotionally attached, I am somebody who has certain issues, and I don't want to get involved into it, no matter how much I like you and no matter how much you like me, because our directions are different. So in that way, there is a lot of less pain that you can go through. And I have also read somewhere that people who are in situationship breakup have more pain than an actual breakup, than actual relationship breakup. I mean, they go through more trauma than a situationship breakup. So I just want to know from you, Tara, that have you ever come across certain situations, maybe in your friends or family or anybody, where um, people have gone through a situationship breakup and it has like it has been a very devastating breakup for them.
I mean, I've not personally been in one, or I don't know anybody who's been in a situationship breakup. But what I feel is that when you are in an open relationship, and by open relationship, I mean the normal relationship, not open, there is an honesty. Both of the partners are pouring out their feelings. Both of them are letting each other know that they are with them, they are in love, or whatever it is. But when it comes to situationships, there's no such talks. There's no deep conversations that are happening. There are no confessions of each other's feelings. So there are high chances that all these things, no matter how long your situationship has been, as a human, you tend to have feelings for this person. No matter if you don't even want to accept it, it's fine. You can be delulu or you can be delusional or whatever, but you tend to have feelings for such people when you're with them. And it's like when you end it, when the situationship ends, all these emotions and all these feelings that have been built up in you, that bursts out. And which is why it might be a little bit more harder than any normal relationship, because you never even got the chance to confess it, you never even got the chance to let all these emotions come out of you. And the other person does not even know how much in pain you are right now, because you can't even go back and talk to that person because you knew that it's a situationship. So what I feel is, people tend to go into situationships to avoid the mental trauma, but they leave ending up having more mental trauma than any other normal relationships can have, because deep
Oh my
down
god.
somewhere or the other they also get invested. And also the thing is that there is a thing called habit. You get habitual of a person, even if you have no feelings for that person. Eventually, if you keep talking to a person every day with no feelings attached, also no strings attached, you get intimate with a person with whatever level of conversations you get habitual to that person. So once you get habitual, and then again you end up breaking that situationships, there are two things now. You're habitual, so you have the habit of seeing that person, meeting that person, talking to that person. And second, these emotions that are built up inside you that burst out, which is why I feel that this increases the amount of mental trauma you go through than normal relationships.
Right, and I also feel that when you are in a situationship, you are at that, in dating phase we call the honeymoon phase, where you are like your best in that 6 to 8 months or maybe 1 year. You're in that impressing the other person wala phase, and I think that happens when you're in a relationship. But when it comes to situationship, because you're not in a relationship, you are talking to that person. It is almost like a relationship without a tag, and you are in that honeymoon phase, so you are just trying to impress each other with your best possible qualities. And what happens is that when it breaks, okay, due to whatever reason, maybe you found another person, or maybe that person found another person, maybe you got distracted due to whatever problems you've had in life, and that person starts behaving weird and distant, and there's a lot of gaslighting involved, that, oh, I did not commit anything, you only were thinking, and all of that things. I feel that when this breaks, one person who's attached more will compare to any good potential person approaching him or her with this person, because you were in this situationship in the honeymoon phase, where only the good things were presented to you. So you've not seen the worst side of this person, so you feel that, shit, I lost a very good person, and that's why you keep coming back in that memories, and you keep coming back, shit, I lost a good person. But actually you've not lost a good person. It is just about the fact that it was just something where you all were trying to impress each other. असली मजा तो अभी शुरू भी नहीं हुआ है. It's like that. When when the masks come out and you see the real person, that has not yet come. So you are, as you rightly said, you are dululu, you're in your whole delusional phase of that this person was the best person. Oh my god. But when a person gaslights you, when they tell you that, oh, you were thinking about it, I'm not thinking a lot. Okay, okay, what, like, are you a little kid, or come on, grow up, become mature, these kind of words, that you are not matured enough to understand what situationship is, which is one of the most stupid sentences you can ever hear. So I feel those words, those sentences told, like gaslighting done to the person who's attached more, causes that emotional turmoil, and this person will not even allow a new person to come and enter in your life, because you are so traumatized because of this situationship in your life.
Yeah, yes, like you rightly said, there's a lot of gaslighting, there's a lot of manipulation that's going on, and where a person who is a little bit more invested suffers entirely than the person who's not invested at all. And also, the thing is that nowadays, what, people are more inclined towards freedom, and they call it self love or self discovery. They are on their self discovery mode, and they are on their freedom mode. The freedom mode is on, and they don't want anybody else to tell them what to do, to behave in a way, to, don't do this, don't do that, which also should not happen in a normal relationship. If you are in love with somebody, it's understood that, you need to give each other that certain amount of space, and let the partner do what he or she wants to do, but also within the boundaries, and also have a certain amount of trust. But these things are completely null and void when it comes to a situationship. You can go out and you can do anything you want, and like you said, there might be people who are in a situationship, and they might be talking to 10 other people also and they are in a situationship with the other 10 people also. So this leads to I feel it's like nuisance when, you don't know what you want. I feel this exactly happens when you don't know what you want, and you want to figure out all the other options that you have before you might even want to commit. It's like you feel like you have this FOMO, fear of missing out, that, what if I'm committed to this person, but there's someone better out there, someone better out there. So it's
Oh
like
my
you
god.
want
So
what's
true.
the best of both worlds. Yeah, it's like you want the best of both worlds. You want perfection in a frame. That is why you keep or you stay in a relationship to maintain the openness and also a path from where you can easily exit or hop onto the other one, where if you feel there's one bit or like one small percentage of flaw in a person you are with. So it's like, if there's a flaw, or if you feel there's a red flag, or if you feel there's some certain issues you have with a guy you're in a situationship, it's very easily to walk off. Nothing like you're married, nothing like you're in a relationship where you have to go through an ugly breakup. It's very easily you can just walk off and you can hop on to the other person, and then again start exploring over there.
And I also feel that situation people who are in situationship, they oftentimes, as I mentioned about the honeymoon phase, right, where you feel all good feelings, that dopamine release, or maybe that good hormones that are releasing from your head, you're liking it, something newness, okay. The moment you feel that this is getting boring because you're not into a relationship, you're like, okay, next. Okay, next. And now this becomes a very unhealthy pattern of living, because you are like, you don't want to see the hard times with another person. You just want good moments. You just want to have fun. You just want to be happy all the time. The moment there is crisis, you are like, oh shit, this is not what I look for. And वैसे भी ये relationship नहीं है. So फिर why should I be with that person, or why should I be with that person at the lows? Let's just walk out and let's feel something new. Let's feel that, that head, that thing in your head, a nice beautiful garden like feeling, which is so bad. Because if you are, while talking about the youngsters who are now Gen Z, you come from college, or maybe you are in school, you started doing situationship from that time till the time you are married. Imagine the amount of situationships you will be in, and how much you're going to go through ups and downs of your own mental health. And it is going to be so badly screwed, because being in a relationship and going up and upside going with that person through ups and downs is different, versus going through this emotion of liking and disliking, and then there's self-worth issues, because when a person walks away without even telling you what was the problem, because they are not never going to, I think it oftentimes happen with men, because women, if they like somebody else, they will say it that, okay, I like somebody else now, maybe forget, they'll be very honest most of the times. But for some reason men have this problem. I don't know how the men who are going to listen this, who are going to take it, but as for my observation and my personal opinion, men do not accept if they like somebody else while they are with somebody. they will instead they will instead show the girl that it is your problem, you don't understand me, we are not matching on that level. Oh, there's religion issue, oh there is caste issue, oh there is financial issue, you are too much, you are too way better than me, you know like that. But they'll indirectly say that, no, 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 that's not your problem, also it's my problem. It's because I don't want to give you false hope. After making that person addicted to you, then you come up with this, because you have a ready person available to go to, you know and now this person who's attached is gone through a self-worth issue. They're like, what went wrong, what is wrong with me? And nobody is going to answer that question. It's going to be unsolved. It's going to be a mystery for life, where you're trying to figure out what went wrong. So there is so much emotional instability in this situationship that it indirectly affects your health.
Yeah, definitely. And also about the fact where you said that, it's like a honeymoon phase, and then once you come to know about the person's behaviors or something, certain things that you're not liking, you hop on to the other person. The thing is, and like from childhood, like from a teenage level, now teenagers are nowadays like having all these situationships. And also, till you reach a certain age, when you want to get married, you've been through so many relationships. I feel that if you don't figure out what you want in a man or a woman, and have your ideas or ideologies, values straight in your head, and you keep hopping onto the other person to find what's better than this, what's better than this, then you will have too much over expectations from each and every person that comes after this person you're with. It's like You will never be satisfied, you'll never be happy with one person. And you should have this in your head that humans are not perfect, they are not meant to be perfect. Everybody's going to have certain flaws. So either you ready to accept those flaws, in flaws that are manageable, not like a person who's abusive straight on, you're managing or settling for that. No, I'm not talking about such things, but flaws that are manageable. If you should be able to accept or understand that everybody is not perfect, so I need to be with a person with whom I am happy, and even if there are flaws, it's manageable. But if you see one tiny bit of a flaw and then you start hopping on to the other person, you will definitely get another flaw from that person also. So if you are going to do this continuously, there will come a time where you don't have 1% understanding of what you actually need or what you actually want from a particular type of person, and then it will be too late to do anything for you. So, what I feel is, in this type of situationships, also, honesty plays such a major role that you need to understand that, you need to set a certain boundaries so that you are also not emotionally invested. And you, because you should know whether the person you are being in a situationship with is emotionally invested or not. If yes, then you need to let that person know that this is what I am here for. I am exploring, I want to see what I like and what I don't like, so that you don't hurt the person you're with. Because as I said, human tendency, habitual, and there will be a certain type of affection or attachment. So you need to let the person know that, see, I am a hopper, and I need to figure out what I want in life or what type of person I want. So I will be here for
Exactly.
you, I will be with you for a time where I feel like, okay, I am getting what I need. But the moment I feel like I'm not getting what I need from you, I might end up leaving. So the person already knows, okay, there is a chance that this person might end up leaving. So then there's a transparency, and there are chances that the person can handle themselves better than if there was no honesty in it.
Okay, as you spoke about honesty, I want to say that people in today's time, when they are dating somebody, it's very rare that people are very honest about what they want. Now, I feel that when you are, especially in the Gen Z generation, when you are out there looking or trying to be in a relationship or looking forward for a person to spend your time and life with somebody, and you only date to get married, it's always looked down upon versus, okay, we are just friends with, like, friends with benefits or physical intimacy and a lot of other situationships. All of these are celebrated, and when somebody genuinely is a person who wants to date only to get married, people are looking down at them because for now it's like, oh, it's not cool to be that. And I feel that no matter what people think, first of all, as you mentioned, honesty, you have to be honest and clear of what you want. And if you know what you want, be very clear of what you want. And when you are going to meet a boy or a girl, whoever, be very sure of what you are also looking forward to. I completely agree to what you said.
Definitely, this is 100% true. Because what I have noticed, or from what I have known, the younger generation nowadays are getting into situationships more than the people who are like older or above 30s or 40s. So what I feel is, this younger generation has this mindset of looking cool, like you said, in whatever they say or whatever they do. And because of the social media also and the friend circle they have, everything influences them in such a way that they want to look a certain way, and they want people to like them. They want to be relevant. They want to be in a group of friends where nobody makes fun of them, or nobody looks like, oh, she's such a OG or a old school person, or he's such a bina matlab ka romantic guy who is like lattu on girls or something. There's this thing that they are fearing judgment. They're fearing a lot of judgment. They don't want to be judged. They want people to think that they are relevant, they are cool, and they are new generation people, and because of all this also I think situationships are evolving, and people are wanting to be in meaningless flings or things like that rather than being in a mature good relationship. I would um, understand that, because of all these new things, even if you think about this gender thing, first it was only male, female, and trans. Now there are so many things, non-binary, this, that, dog, cow, whatnot, God knows what people are calling each other. So things have become so complicated, and people are okay with it. That's the worst part. I feel that people, rather than not wanting complication, they want complication in their life, but they are not they are unaware about the fact that being in a relationship, yes, it is definitely complicated, but if you are in a situationship, that gets more complicated, because by mistake, if you feel a certain way for a person when you're in a situationship, or without any intention, if you start having feelings for that person, that very moment your situationship will end, because that is not what situationship is. You can't emotionally get invested or romantically get invested in it, and people need to understand that that is when complications will start more. I don't understand that why people want to be in a complicated relationship or a situationship rather than having a mature relationship where, at the end of the end of everything, you have this certain person with you. No matter how much you fight, no matter what you're going through, you have this person who will stick with you through thick and thin. But you can't say the same for situationships.
Yeah, and also I feel that people who are scared of relationship, that oh god, it's like, अरे इतना drama कौन handle करेगा, these kind of people. These are the people who even leave situationships, because for them they don't even have the potential to argue, because arguments and normal fights in a relationship is not bad. When different people coming from different households, forget about culture, background, religion, caste, forget that all, I'm just talking about two different households coming together for a potential relationship, okay, you have to understand that you are going to be very different from the other person. You are physically attracted to this person, you like, genuinely you like this person's qualities, and that is why you're proceeding. Okay, okay, let me just talk to this person and let's see how it works. You genuinely want this relationship to work. But in situationship, yes, there is physical attraction and you like this person, but the moment there is an argument, or maybe there is like a disagreement towards something, the person who's scared the most to face things, or the person who puts things under the rug, will vanish and be like, oh, this I can't handle, this is too much, okay, I have too many things in my life, I want to make money, or I want to focus on my career. Suddenly mummy, daddy, family, career, सब कुछ याद आ जाता है, and they will dismiss the person in front about whatever they are feeling. So I feel that people are very they have very unrealistic expectations about relationship in general, and that's why they end up being in situationship, and then they are like, okay, this is not working out for me, so let's just do one thing. Let's just take some break. Let's just be with my friends, with my guy friends. Let's chill with my girlfriends. Or let's just chill with my family for a bit. And maybe when I'm ready for something more, for that honeymoon phase, I'll get back. But again, boom, you have a problem with another person and now you don't know. And as you mentioned, that when they do it continuously, it is very difficult, because this person is going to be a red flag forever. Because if you can't handle a situation, if you cannot handle an argument, if you can't sit and talk about what went wrong, where you felt that I was wrong, tell me if I was, where did you feel what I felt, when this conversation does not happen in a relationship, I think no matter what, like friendship, or even if it is friends with benefits, or whatever you are thinking of being into, if this kind of conversation is not happening with that person, then I think that the person who's running away, is a very big red flag. And if you are the person who's want to talk and you want to let solve this situation, then you are definitely at the better side, and you will find better people who are willing to put that much efforts, which is not a lot of efforts, but at least the efforts to make you feel better about whatever happened. or whatever disagreements you have. So I feel the situationships mein, when you're not going to the complexities of relationship, you are never going to be a very good partner to your person because you are only expecting good things.
Yeah, exactly. So what I was just researching about this thing, and what I found out, a few pointers. We've already discussed this, but there are like few pointers due to which situationships are happening. First is like commitment issues. Second is like something is better than nothing. For example, if you're not being able to find a guy or a girl you want to be with or spend your life with or commit to, they are okay with being with a person because something is better than nothing. Then it's like they're too afraid to be alone. There's this thing where you don't want to be alone or you don't want to be lonely. Maybe you've been in a friend circle or a group where you always had someone or the other, but then later you are in a place or a situation where you end up being alone or you are lonely. So because of that loneliness you feel like it's okay, I can just be in a situationship rather than being lonely or otherwise. And they're also ready to settle for less, as in being with someone who's not ready to commit. So they're okay with the fact, even if they want to commit, but they're still okay with the fact that there there at least is a situationship that is going on, and I'm ready to settle for less. Even if it's a situationship, it's okay. So these are some random average reasons I found out why situationships arise.
Right, and I would like to add also to people who have traumas. There could be childhood trauma. There could be daddy issues. There could be mummy issues. There could be some attachment issues that they've had in childhood. That is the reason they are so scared, as you mentioned also. So I feel there's a lot of psychological issues when people opt for situationships knowingly. When it happens unknowingly, okay, there might be a time that you don't know how you might have attracted this person. But apart from that, I feel that if you are knowingly trying to get into situationship, there's definitely some psychological issues that you have, and please go and see a therapist. Okay, Tara. So I want to ask you, what do you think? Is situationship better than relationship, or does situationship have any pros, to be honest, to be in? And what is your preference?
Okay, so what I feel, my personal preference completely, is that I don't think situationship is better than a normal relationship. Personally, I'm speaking again because I feel that when you are in a situationship, there's no commitment, there's no conversations, you cannot expect anything from anybody. And for me, if I am with someone, I give my 200% to that person, and I do have expectations, not unrealistic, but at least the normal basic expectations that if I'm in need, I would expect you to be there for me and certain things like that. And I am a very emotional person, I'm an emotional wreck. So I feel that if I be in a situationship, I will not be able to handle it. I will be crying every day because I will some or the other way get attached to that person, and I will eventually have feelings for that person. And then when I know that the person in with I'm with does not have any feelings or is like 0% invested in me, that will break me like really bad. So what I feel is situationships are not better than a normal relationship. In a normal relationship, there is dignity, there is honesty, there is self respect, there is respect to your other half, and also there's commitment and expectations and availability of that person. All these things you will not get in a situationship. Yes, relationships can get complicated and messy, but that will only happen if there's no communication between the two people. Other than that, if there's proper communication, there's understanding, there's a sense of maturity among the two, then relationships are not that complicated as people tend to make it. But in situationship, you cannot expect any maturity, you cannot expect any communications, you cannot expect any availability or respect for each other's preferences or choices. You have to just live with it. So what I feel is no, relationship is much better and situationship is not. And now if you talk about pros, I'm already against situationships, but even if I have to mention few pros, um, if a person is not ready to commit, they'll have that leisure or they'll have that freedom that they want. So yeah, there's a lot of freedom. There's a lot of independence in it. You don't have to depend on anybody else. You can make your choices. You can do whatever you want according to your own will. So maybe like freedom, independence, like self care, self importance. Maybe these are few pros I can say, which I still don't agree on, but yeah. And my preferences, like I've already mentioned, I would definitely be in a mature relationship with a guy, uh, and not in a situationship, because I will definitely get attached, and I'm so emotional that I don't want to break my heart in any way. I want mental peace, and for mental peace I'll definitely choose a person who will provide me mental peace rather than anything else, and who's not taking away my mental peace, where I'm thinking like, oh my god, he's in a situationship with me, what if he's talking to some other girls also and I can't even do anything about it. No, I'd rather have a person who I can trust and believe in, and work on the relationship and build a beautiful life with that person for the future. I'm always going to be future oriented. So, yeah, that's my preference. I would also want to ask the same question to you. Do you think it's better? Situationships are better than relationships, or do you feel the other way, or do you feel that there are any pros? But I also want you to mention the cons, and also what is your preference?
First of all, I'd like to say that I loved everything that you said about, situationship and your opinion and your preference, because I completely relate to it, you know. And talking about situationship, I don't think that it is the right, it is ever right to be in a situationship. It is just going, we are humans at the end of the day, and we always want somebody, unknowingly also we want to rely, we want somebody to be there for us, okay, no matter how much hyper independent you are or you want to be in your life, no matter how much we say that, there should be, you should be very self independent and you should not be, attached to anyone, but we are human beings, we tend to get attached to people. This is the reality. You cannot, we are not robots. So if you want to get attached only, if you are expecting something, and if you are, you want that reliance, or you want to rely on somebody, you want to love somebody, you want to take care and want everything, all of these things in return, then I would say that relationships are better and far, far better than situationships. Even if that relationship breaks, you come out of that relationship or out of that breakup as a new person. You know where you went wrong, what went wrong, what you tolerated, what the other person tolerated, and now you are ready after the healing process for a new phase of your life. But in situationship, you will never be ready. So talking about the pros, I honestly don't think there is any pro to be in a situationship, because it's just going to screw your mental health. And the cons is that it's going to screw up with your mental health. It's going to, your routine is going to change. You are going to expect somebody's message, and when you get that message, you'll be happy one, but once you stop getting that message, you will be disturbed. And if that attachment is a lot, you will be so all over the place that you will lack clarity in life. You lack focus. You lack, you might get into bad eating habits. You might gain weight. You might lose weight. You may have, your work will, it will affect on your work, your studies, whatever you are into. So there is so much of cons in situationship, and there is no guarantee. You will always feel that you are a person who is not worthy of love, which is such a bad thing. Why you want to get into something that will make you feel that you're not worthy of love? Everyone in this world is worthy of love. And for that, if you like somebody, approach that person, ask for a relationship, and say that let's work it out. If it doesn't, then okay, maybe we were not meant to be, but at least be in a committed relationship where you are for that person only and not for more 10 other people. So my preference is that be in a beautiful relationship, learn, grow, evolve, have visions together. And if it doesn't work out, if it doesn't work out, then okay, it didn't work out. Fine. You go through your phase of sadness, go through your phase of healing, no problem. But don't end up in situationships. It will only hamper your mental health and your physical health indirectly, which you may not even know. So that is what I can say. And that's a wrap for today's episode. Situationships are the wild west of modern dating, exciting yet unpredictable. They challenge our notions of connection and commitment. While they offer a sense of freedom, they also come with emotional risks.
As you navigate these murky waters, remember to protect your heart and prioritize your mental health. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, drop us a comment if you have ever been in a similar situation, and also follow us on Spotify and Instagram. Never forget, don't settle for anything less than what you deserve because that's not
How we do it here.